Have you ever felt that something greater is calling you? A whisper deep in your mind? A strange feeling that something is about to happen? Many people ignore this feeling, dismissing it as just another random thought. But what if I told you that this is the first sign of a spiritual calling? Only the chosen ones can hear it. Only those who are prepared or destined for something greater can recognize the signs that indicate their soul is awakening to a purpose far beyond the ordinary. This calling is not a coincidence. It appears subtly but powerfully through situations, encounters, and experiences that challenge your perception of reality. It's as if the universe is trying to show you something that you are not yet fully able to understand. But here's the secret. Most people are not ready to hear it. And that's exactly why this video is so important. If you feel that your life has a greater purpose, that your journey cannot just be about waking up, working, paying bills, and sleeping, then you need to understand the signs of this calling. This is a crucial moment. How you respond to this calling can define your entire trajectory from this point forward. The chosen ones are not ordinary people. They are those who have always felt they don't completely fit into this world, who notice details that others ignore, and who, in some way, have always had a sharper intuition. They are the ones who, even without knowing exactly why, are drawn to spiritual topics, deep philosophies, and questions that go beyond material existence. If you feel that this calling is echoing within you, it's because your soul is ready for a transformation. But be careful, this transformation is not always easy. A spiritual calling often comes with challenges, tests, and moments of solitude. This happens because, in order to grow spiritually, you need to let go of everything that no longer serves your purpose. And here comes one of the hardest parts of this journey: the deconstruction of the ego. The ego wants to keep you trapped in what is known, comfortable, and predictable. But the spiritual calling requires you to go beyond, to free yourself from the chains of fear and doubt. It is an intense process where you will begin to notice changes in how you see the world, how you relate to people, and even in your own behavior. This is where many people give up. They feel the calling but are not ready to deal with the changes it brings. The path of spiritual evolution is not for the weak. It requires courage, discipline, and above all, a complete surrender to the unknown. And you? Are you ready to answer the call? If you feel that something inside you resonates with these words, do not ignore it. This may be your greatest opportunity for transformation. But remember, hearing the call is only the first step. What truly matters is what you do from here on. Now, before we continue, I want you to stop for a moment and think. What inside you is resisting this change? What are the fears, doubts, and beliefs that are preventing you from taking this step toward awakening? Answering these questions could be the beginning of a great transformation in your life. If this video makes sense to you, it's because your soul already knows the truth. You just need the courage to accept it. Now, let's dive deeper into what it really means to answer the spiritual calling and how you can prepare for this journey. Answering the spiritual calling is not just an intellectual decision. It's not something you choose rationally, like deciding what to have for dinner. This calling comes from a much deeper place, from the essence of your soul, and when it arrives, you feel it. But there is a big difference between hearing and acting. Most people feel this calling at some point in life, but not everyone is ready to follow it. Why? Fear. Fear of losing who they were, fear of not being understood, fear of drifting away from people who no longer vibrate at the same frequency. The process of spiritual awakening can be lonely because you begin to see the world differently. Things that once seemed normal now feel artificial. You notice manipulation in the media, the falseness in many relationships, the emptiness in mindless consumption. And then you start asking yourself, why am I here? What is the real meaning of all this? These questions don't arise by chance. They are part of your calling. They are a sign that your consciousness is expanding beyond the social programming imposed on you since childhood. You are beginning to see reality with new eyes. But here's a crucial detail. Spiritual awakening is not about gaining knowledge. It is about transformation. You can read hundreds of books on spirituality, watch videos, consume content all day. But if there is no real change within you, none of that matters. The spiritual calling requires action. It requires you to abandon old patterns, break destructive cycles, and begin aligning your life with your deepest truth. And what happens when you ignore this calling? You feel empty, a deep dissatisfaction, even when everything seems fine externally. It's as if something inside you is screaming for change, but you're trying to silence it with distractions. And the more you resist, the stronger this feeling becomes. The chosen ones are those who, instead of running from this calling, choose to face it head-on. They know that this journey will not be easy, but they are willing to pay the price of transformation. And when they do, something magical happens. Life begins to align. People, opportunities, and situations start appearing unexpectedly, as if the universe itself were conspiring to help them follow their path. But for that to happen, you need to take the first step. The spiritual calling will not disappear if you ignore it. On the contrary, it will only become more intense. So the real question is, are you ready to listen? Or will you continue trying to fit into a world that was never meant for your soul? The spiritual journey is not linear. There will be moments when you feel completely aligned with the universe, full of purpose and clarity. But there will also be periods of doubt where everything seems confusing and uncertain. And it is precisely in these moments that many give up. They think they've lost their way when in reality they are just facing the natural challenges of awakening. Resistance is part of the process, and how you handle it defines whether you are truly ready to move forward. Moreover, it's common that, when answering the spiritual calling, you start feeling an almost instinctive need to distance yourself from certain people, places, and habits. What once made sense now feels empty, and you realize that many of your connections were based on superficial interests or toxic patterns. This is a difficult moment because it can bring loneliness and misunderstanding. But remember, temporary solitude is the price of a true connection with those who truly share your vibration. And perhaps the clearest sign that you are answering the call is the awakening of a deep desire for self-knowledge and expansion of consciousness. You begin to seek answers in books, ancient teachings, forgotten philosophies, and practices that once seemed irrelevant. You realize that spirituality is not about following rigid rules imposed by others, but about discovering your own truth. And this truth can only be found by those who dare to question everything and dive into their own essence. If you've made it this far, it's because in some way, this calling has already begun within you. Now it's up to you to take the next step. Don't ignore the signs. Don't allow yourself to keep living on autopilot. Something inside you already knows the truth. Now, you just need the courage to accept it. As you step further into this journey, you might notice that your interests and passions begin to shift. Activities that once entertained you may now seem shallow, and conversations that used to engage you may start feeling meaningless. This is a natural part of spiritual awakening. Your soul is calling for deeper experiences, for connections that nourish your spirit rather than drain it. You are no longer satisfied with the superficial. You crave truth, authenticity, and wisdom. Another undeniable sign of answering the call is the increasing synchronicities in your life. Have you ever thought about something deeply, only to see signs of it everywhere? Maybe you keep encountering the same numbers, hearing certain phrases repeatedly, or meeting people who seem to deliver the exact message you needed at that moment. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations from the universe that you are on the right path. But with this awakening also comes resistance, both from within and from those around you. People who once resonated with you may start feeling distant. Some might even criticize your journey, claiming you have changed too much. This happens because your energy is evolving, and not everyone around you will be willing to evolve with you. Accept this as part of the process, knowing that true alignment will attract the right people into your life. One of the biggest challenges of spiritual awakening is the confrontation with your own shadows. When you decide to step into the light, all the unresolved aspects of yourself come to the surface. Old wounds, fears, and insecurities you thought were long gone suddenly demand your attention. This can be overwhelming, but it is necessary. Healing is not about ignoring your past. It is about integrating it with wisdom and compassion. During this process, you might feel an increasing need for solitude. This is not loneliness. It is a sacred retreat, a period of introspection where you recalibrate your energy and reconnect with your inner self. It is in these moments of silence that you begin to hear the whispers of your higher self more clearly. Do not fear this solitude. Embrace it, for it is a powerful space of transformation. You may also find yourself experiencing heightened sensitivity. Your emotions become more intense, your intuition sharper, and your ability to sense the energy of others stronger. This is because your consciousness is expanding. You are beginning to see beyond the surface of things, feeling the vibrational truths that exist beneath words and actions. Trust this newfound awareness. It is a gift, not a burden. A crucial step in this journey is learning to protect your energy. As you become more spiritually attuned, you will notice how easily you pick up on the emotions and vibrations of others. Without proper energetic boundaries, you might feel drained or overwhelmed. Practicing grounding techniques, visualization, and mindfulness can help you maintain your balance, ensuring that you continue growing without being weighed down by external influences. Lastly, you will begin to feel an undeniable sense of purpose. Even if you don't fully understand where this path is leading, there will be an inner knowing that you are moving in the right direction. Trust this feeling. The more you align with your true self, the clearer your purpose will become. The universe does not call you without a reason. Your soul came here for something greater, and every step you take towards that truth brings you closer to your destiny. And if this video made sense to you, share your experience in the comments. I want to know about your journey, the challenges you've faced, and what you felt in this process. Remember, you're not alone. This journey may seem lonely at times, but many others are awakening alongside you. Subscribe to the Motivation You Need channel, turn on notifications, and continue this journey with me. There is still much to be revealed and many truths to be discovered. And always remember, the call is here, waiting for your response. The only question that matters now is, are you ready?